Welcome along to live final round coverage of the Dana Open presented by Marathon. Cara Banks alongside Morgan Pressel, Karen Stupples calling holes, and this is a big moment for Megan Kang on the green at 11.
Well, she has this to take the lead, and Paige, you're following along with this group.
Yeah, it's just a slow putt up this hill.
Wow. Megan Kang's been a player that's been putting herself in position since she joined the tour. Hasn't got a win yet, but I think generally most people feel like she is overdue for a victory. So good to see her performing really well today.
Well, that was the voice of Paige McKenzie that is following this group, who is making a charge as we drop back to our final group, which features Kay Cockerell at 9.
Good afternoon, Cara. And Lucy Lee off to a much steadier start today than yesterday when she was playing in the final group for the first time. Was a little nervous, made a couple bogeys early on. Today, instead of being 2 over par through 7, she's 1 under par. Really steady golf so far.
How's the conditions out there, Kay? It's we've had a little bit of rain today so far.
We have. The rain has picked up a little bit, but there's absolutely no wind. And it's balmy, so I'd say fairly ideal conditions. And that was a 9-iron.
And she'll have a chance for a birdie. Currently 1 behind Megan Kang, so she'll have that to try and tie the lead. As we go back to the 11th and Gabby Lopez for a birdie.
Yeah, and this is just a squirrely putt. You know, this is the most severe green. Hard to match up the line and the speed on that one.
That looks so speedy. Now back to 9, Lexi Thompson from the rough, Kay.
This is a severe disadvantage today as players are playing preferred lies from the fairway. This wet, long, thick rough is challenging, but she's drawn actually a decent lie. That was a gap wedge.
If anybody can gouge it out of the rough, it would be Lexi. She'll have a long range birdie attempt.
Well, let's get to some morning highlights. Worth mentioning, they are playing lift, clean and place today because of those wet conditions this morning. This was a tester to save par at the second for our leader. And Lucy Lee managed to do that, did hold the 54-hole lead outright, and as Kay just mentioned, got off to a solid start. But Morgan, this is the girl that's charging, Megan Kang on the tee at 8.
Yeah, she's a tremendous ball striker. Top 10 in greens and regulation on the LPGA Tour this year, and taking advantage of the soft conditions.
Yeah, that led to a birdie to get to 14 under, then this to get to 15 at the very next hole.
This is really the club that's the biggest difference maker for Megan. This is for only 12 putts through the front 9.
Playing in the fifth to last group and started the day 4 back. Lucy Lee got her first birdie of the day here at 6. Much needed to stay atop the leaderboard at the time with Megan Kang, now 15 under, but as we just showed you, Megan jumped out in front thanks to this at 11. So let's take an updated look at this leaderboard then. There is Megan 1 ahead. She sits at 16 under, 6 under on her day through 11. A slowish start for Lucy Lee, but Kang playing alongside Lopez. They both are going low early on Sunday at the Dana Open. NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Highland Meadows Golf Club in Sylvania, Ohio, it's live final round coverage of the Dana Open presented by Marathon. So yes, we are in the Buckeye State for a 4th and final day of this wonderful tournament in its 37th year, but first under its new name, having been called the Marathon Classic, of course, for the previous 9 years, and experiencing actually the latest week in the year that this tournament has ever been held. This is the same week that the Solheim Cup was played last year, just up the road actually in Toledo at Inverness Club this time last year. And proud to be part of an all-female announce crew for the 2nd straight year. Cara Banks in the booth alongside Morgan Pressel, Karen Stupples on holes, Kay Cockerell and Paige McKenzie are on the golf course. As we get straight back out to the action on 9.
And Lexi Thompson has a birdie try here, okay? She hasn't got under par yet today. Has she been hitting it close, or has it been just not giving herself much chances that's caused this?
Actually, she's had some good birdie looks, and she's put good strokes on the ball. It's just so far been one of those days that she hasn't seen the results. As you would imagine, greens are putting much slower than they were yesterday when they were so firm and fast by the afternoon, and with this rain, they're much softer, and it's hard. I think Lexi's having a hard time just getting the ball to the hole. This is an uphill putt with a pretty good amount of left to right break.
Looked like a good aggressive stroke there, though, Kay.
It was.
Yep.
That was a really good roll. Little different hole today. Yesterday they moved the tees up, and Lexi actually made an eagle here, and it really jump-started her round.
No question about it. So Lexi will have that little putt for par.
Well, this is Ho Jo Kim for par at the 8th. There was a 2-tee start once again today. She was group number 2, which was the first off of the 10th. And that a massive par save on what has been a very good round of golf so far. 6 under on her day. You can see the 4 she had on the back 9, her first 9 of the day, and already got it to 12 under. Back to 9.
And Lucy Lee with this birdie chance to get to 16 under par and tie the lead.
She doesn't shy away from looking at the leaderboards, and she took a long, hard look at the one here.
No, Kay, she said that in a press interviews yesterday, and I think that's a player that really relishes that situation, that spot. She's not afraid to feel that pressure.
Nope, she says you don't change your game plan, but you might alter your strategy a little bit, depending if you're ahead or behind.
It's going to be interesting. To 10.
And now a defending champion for birdie. Nice play by Nasa Hataoka, who was determined champion through 54 holes last year. They had torrential rain actually on Sunday over 12 months ago, but it's not such bad conditions today. 211.
And this is Brooke Henderson with her second shot. 11th hole has played the hardest all week, but the rules officials given the players a little help today with this back left flag. So a location that has been the easiest in previous years. And to 9, and this is Caroline Masson with her birdie try.
Caroline spotted the field 3 shots by starting out double bogey, but this for her 3rd birdie in the last 4 holes to climb out of that hole.
Had to be a little nervy start there for her. There you go. She is a winner on the LPGA Tour, but hasn't done so in a number of years, so had to think that the stomach was churning just a little bit for her early on.
Well, nothing like some birdies to settle your stomach down.
It's always the way. There's that nice little comfortable spot in the middle of the round where you kind of get settled in. The start can be a bit nervy, the finish can be a bit nervy, but this is the sweet spot right here. Much in this par putt for Lucy?
No.
She'll remain at 15 under par. Just the one birdie today, but a steady start for her.
And of course, Lexi, she's got to kick it into another gear. Her patience was tested a couple days ago when she got off to a poor start, but really hung in there. And if there's anything you need in this game is a large dose of patience every day.
Oh, steady par there, but what Lexi has in her back pocket is those 17 and 18 with her power. Those have to be a good thing to look forward to for her.
And as we welcome you into our booth on this Sunday, final round coverage of the Dana Open, there's some nice synergy, Morgan, isn't there, in this final group? Because, of course, Lucy Lee, the now 19-year-old, is playing alongside Lexi Thompson, whose record she bettered when she qualified for the U.S. Women's Open aged 11, becoming the youngest qualifier, of course, in the championship's history. Lexi had previously done so age 12 in 2007. They did actually play a practice round together that week at Pinehurst.
I love it. That picture is so tremendous. This is one of the fun things about the Open. As I qualified as a youngster too, you can play with your idols in practice rounds. Make sure to sign up, but it's got to be a special pairing for both players. I think fun for Lexi to watch the future in Lucy Lee, and of course Lucy to play with somebody who I'm sure she's looked up to for a long time.
And Lexi did say to the media after her round yesterday, you know, she's no fool in terms of being aware of how talented Lucy Lee is. And let's not forget Caroline Masson. She got off to a difficult start, as Kay alluded to, but she is the third member of this final trio. She's looking to win on the same day that she secured her first and only LPGA win to date, which was at the Manulife Classic in 2016.
Yeah, she looked really good when I watched her on the range today. Stumbled a little bit. The first hole's a little bit awkward. Bit of a rough start, but she's battling back. But I really think the story so far today is that the final group has not really taken advantage of the soft, relatively easy conditions out there today, and yet Megan Kang has. Megan Kang's only had 15 putts through the first 11 holes. I mean, and she has put herself right in position to win her first tournament.
Taking advantage of these soft conditions as we go to 12 and find Paige McKenzie.
158 yards and a 7-iron. She had a tremendous angle coming into this hole location from the left side of the fairway. Another solid approach.
Maybe another one putt there, Paige.
It's been looking really solid with the putter.
Just shows what is possible today. You know, they're the fifth to last group to have gone out and started 4 strokes behind Lucy, who led. And it's not only her playing well, Paige, of course, in this group. Gabby's having a good day so far as well.
Absolutely, especially the fact that she put herself in great position on the last hole, not able to capitalize. She is at the very edge of the fairway. Took advantage of as much distance as she can. She's only got 148 yards remaining. And I mentioned it, the best angle into this whole location from the left side, so she's got a perfect line in.
Karen mentioned some of the more generous hole locations. I think this one on 12 is one of the more generous on the back right side of this green.
Yeah, it certainly is. Only danger, of course, would be to get too aggressive. Green runs out pretty quickly right behind the hole.
Really nicely judged, especially up against very close to that higher cut of rough. Didn't allow that to turn the face over.
Well, let's drop back a couple to 10, where the final group, Kay, are making the turn.
Yeah, Lucy, going with the 3-wood, there's a fairway bunker that comes into play 260 on the right. Trees come in 250 on the left. You take the club you think you can hit it the straightest with. That had a draw, might have started too far left.
Yeah, it looks like it's in a nice lie, though. It's in the rough, but it looks like it's set up in almost a little bit of an upslope as well. The back right hole location, I think she'll get away with that one.
Lexi uses this driving iron a lot off the tees, probably on a third of the tees, either this or her 3-wood. It's a 3-iron bent down to a 2-iron loft.
She only has the opportunity around this golf course, Kay, to hit driver maybe 3 or 4 times.
And that was a really good swing, taking it down the right side.
Won't quite get all the way down to the flat. She'll have a slight downslope for her approach, but right in the center of the fairway.
And we're going to go to the 11th, and after Brooke Henderson's tremendous approach into the 11th, she'll have this for a birdie and to get to 13 under par. As always, difficult. There have been 8 birdies on this hole today. It is playing the easiest it's played all week. And Brooke will be, I'm sure, though, happy to leave this hole with a par. She'll stay at 12 under par, 4 shots back of Megan Kang, who leads the way. 6 under par on her round today, going along nicely in this final round of the Dana Open.
On behalf of the 40,000 women and men of Dana, I'm delighted to welcome you to the Dana Open presented by Marathon. Driven by nearly 120 years of innovative spirit, Dana is at the forefront of vehicle electrification, designing, engineering, and delivering fully integrated electrified propulsion systems to the world's mobility industry. From pickup trucks and SUVs to Class 8 haulers, tractors, and underground mining equipment, our team is powering the innovation that moves our world. We are truly inspired by the field of this year's Dana Open, which represents 24 of the 31 countries where Dana operates. We are proud to support these LPGA professionals who are the role models and serve as the inspiration for others through their commitment to excellence. Thanks for watching, and we hope that you will join us in celebrating these outstanding athletes.
We are back with the final group on the 10th hole here at the Highland Meadows Golf Club. Good position for Lexi Thompson.
Yeah, awkward lie, though. Coming off a downhill lie, 9-iron in hand. This drifting right.
Let's go up a couple groups to 12 and find Paige McKenzie watching Gabby Lopez.
Yeah, just moving from her left to right downhill. Got a little away from her.
In last couple of holes, she's kind of let a couple of opportunities pass by. Still got a very good round going. 4 under on her day and 1 back of the lead. Let's go back to the 10th K, and Caroline Masson's part of this final group.
A much flatter lie, also coming from the left-hand side of this fairway, which will create a nice angle to the back right hole location. This also 9-iron. Didn't strike that really well, but maybe she'll take it as a miss.
Maybe a groove low, okay?
Up to 12, Paige, and another birdie look for Megan Kang.
Yeah, this moving left to right and is a little bit slow, on the slower side. Just a little tentative. It's been a deceptive putt up that hill.
Yeah, good call, Paige. So she stays 6 under on her day with a 1-stroke lead at 16 under. Lucy Lee is chasing now from the rough at 10.
Morgan, you called it. That was a good lie, an uphill lie, going at it with a 9-iron as well. I think she's going to like that.
Well, she made birdie at this hole yesterday. She'll have a long look at one today. Let's go up to 11.
And this is Nasa Atoga from the right side of this fairway, just in that first cut, playing to that left flag. Shouldn't be too bad from there. And a lovely shot there from the defending champion. She'll have a little birdie putt coming up. We go to the 9th. This is Hyo-Joo Kim. 12 under par. Started on the back 9, so this is her final hole of the day. Last chance to make an impression. And that'll do for a nice easy par for Hyo-Joo. Player that has won this year already. She won in Hawaii. In the house, 12 under par. Nice way to climb up the leaderboard with a final round 65, making her bank manager quite happy. Go to 14.
And find Frida Schinholt on the tee at this par 3, and we will check out our top tracer technology for this one.
She's put together a beautiful round of golf so far, bogey free, 3 birdies. I just really think, Cara, with these soft conditions, you can pretty much take dead aim at almost any flag stick. You know the ball's not going to release too far, especially off a tee or coming out of the fairway. I expect to see a lot of really good shots here coming on this back 9.
Nice playing from the Swede, who just made birdie at 13, so she'll look to go back to back there at 14. As we drop back to 10, just trying to decide who'll be first to play here, Kay.
Yeah, everyone, no one's hit it in super tight on this hole. Caroline is a very deliberate player, and Lucy Lee is quite fast. I'd say Lexi is somewhere in between, but tending towards a little quicker play. looks like Caroline said she wasn't quite ready. Got to look at it from the other side. And Morgan, don't you think that Caroline's a player that's a little bit of a mystery? I mean, she has such a beautiful, elegant swing, and she's had a lot of experience, but just one European win, one LPGA win. I would have thought she'd have a few more wins.
Yeah, she definitely has a lot of game, and she's put herself in these kinds of positions. And I mean, I see it all the time in professional sports, just about being comfortable, being uncomfortable in these, especially final round situations, knowing you have a chance to win. And I think we definitely saw a little bit of nerves on the first couple holes today.
Well, especially after going bogey-free for 2 straight days for a lady that just hasn't had, you know, the best season.
Well, she's been on 4 Solheim Cup teams, twice on a Junior Solheim Cup. She's a 2-time Olympian, so she's really got a wonderful resume. Just not deep in the win department.
She said one of the reasons why she loves to play here. She loves this golf course. I'm not surprised to see her playing well. You know, when you look at the schedule to start the season, you think, which courses do I think I may have the best chance on? And this is one of them for Caroline.
Well, the deliberation nearly paid off, but she'll tap in for her par, and we'll go up to 13.
And this is Megan Kang with her tee shot.
Yeah, and this hole is one of those birdie opportunities, but you got to make it in the fairway.
This left, the whole location today is on the left side of this green, on the high tier. There is a bunker that guards the front of that left side. And we'll go back to 10.
Well, Lucy Lee is taking a quick look at her birdie opportunity. Pretty in pink today, Kay. Doesn't seem like they're too disturbed by the rain that has fallen. Not many waterproofs on show.
No, it's very warm and humid out here, so you don't need the rain gear really unless the rain starts picking up considerably. And there's no wind, so it's really pretty ideal scoring conditions. This is fairly flat at the beginning, then it'll start going downhill overall left to right break.
That looked like that slowed up much more quickly than it would have earlier in the week. Just shows how much the rain this morning has slowed down these greens a decent amount. It's going to be tough for the players to figure that out on the fly.
We're going to go to 11, and this is Nasa Hataoka for a birdie and to get to 14 under par. She has birdied 5 of her last 6 holes. She has only required 6 putts in the last 5 holes. Now make that 7 in the last 6. And that will get her to 14 under and within 2 of the lead.
Back to 10, and Lexi will be the third to play from just off of the fringe here at the par 4.
Unfortunately, can't call it a green in regulation, but close enough to the putting surface. I think she has a legitimate chance of getting this rolling nicely at the start, but it's a difficult putt because she has to play a good foot and a half right to left break. She's actually even playing more than that. Yeah, that really had a lot of bend to it.
Yeah, not bad. Lexi's so experienced, of course, at the top of the leaderboard. This is the 6th time this season that she's been within 5 of the lead entering the final round, Kay, but it's been fairly hum-ho so far, even on her day through 10, nearly.
Yeah, she's had to play a ton of break on that putt. It's one of those, almost the higher you play it, the more it's going to break. It's the most severe part of this green.
And Karen had asked me a hole ago, is it that she's not hitting it in super tight? And I guess I would agree. She hasn't had a lot of really close opportunities, and with these old-fashioned greens, if you're hole high or above, the putts can be tricky. You really have to position yourself in the right spot to have the easiest putt.
It's a tester to save par. Yeah, well done. So that even pass streak continues as Lexi Thompson still seeks her first win since 2019. The ShopRite LPGA Classic was her last victory. She's had a good season, a couple of close calls, 3 runner-up finishes this season at the Triumphant Championship, the Founders Cup, and of course the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Lucy Lee to tidy up her par. Which she does to remain one back. Just the lone birdie on her day came at the 6th as she looks to become the 5th straight Rolex first-time winner, but right now chasing Megan Kang, who's 16 under through 12 holes. Today's coverage is brought to you by Dana Incorporated. People finding a better way. CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. Welcome back to our final round coverage of the Dana Open presented by Marathon, where we've had a rainy start here at Highland Meadows Golf Club as we join Lucy Lee on the tee at 11.
Oh, this is a good looking drive. It's a blind tee shot up to an elevated fairway. She'll be happy with that down the left-hand side.
It's a good looking swing there, Morgan, isn't it? Like really smooth, great timing, good lines.
Yeah, a little bit homegrown golf swing kind of a look. Very free.
So to 13, and this is Megan Kang's second shot.
This whole location only 4 yards over at the front edge, so 97 to the hole and 93 to cover that bunker.
Nice little drop and stop there for Megan. That putt should move a little left. She'll have another chance for a birdie and to extend her lead. Now on the tee, Lexi Thompson at 11.
Yeah, still clubbing back, going for accuracy. That's not going to be very accurate.
Might be able to get away with it there over on the left. It does open up a touch. It'll depend a bit on the lie.
Well, she did get lucky early on in the week. One of her tee shots went way to the right. It looked like it was going out of bounds, but then ricocheted back in. Could be a little hangover from that. Back to 14.
Well, we showed you Frida Schinholt's approach into this par 3 14th. That to pay off the birdie, unable to do so. So she'll tap in for a par. Continue blemish-free round of golf going. Just 4 off of the lead. That is held by Megan Kang, chasing her first ever victory in her 7th year on the LPGA Tour.
On the 13th green, Gabby Lopez.
This has some pace that Karen just moving a little bit from her left to right.
That was really well done there by Gabby. You can see looking pretty solid on that putt.
And it's got her one back of the lead, and you can get connected with the LPGA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So don't forget to connect with the LPGA socially. As we go back out to 13.
And Megan Kang with her birdie page.
And this one is kind of tricky. It's right on the fall line. It could go kind of either way. But that did not have enough speed.
You have to think, Paige, that's somebody who tends to maybe struggle a little bit with their putting. Granted, she's putting beautifully so far this week, but start to get a little bit tentative, a little tight, and maybe leave them short.
Definitely.
So watch that. And just closing few holes here.
If we drop back to 12 and find our defending champion, that's Asaoka on a bit of a run. And by a bit of a run, I mean 5 birdies in her last 6 holes.
Looked like she was set up there to play a little bit of a cut, but started it well right. A little bit of a push cut. Won't be the end of the world, but not what she was looking for.
So we're going to go back to the 11th, and that is the golf ball of Lexi Thompson.
Also, guys,
what has
thank you.
she got?
Yeah, she and Caroline Masson have lucked out, and they have a swing. They have a shot to get this on the green. Granted, this isn't the ideal lie. It's softened, hard pan, kind of between some clumps of inconsistent rough. but she has 151 to the front, looking to hit this 160. And got it up easily over the trees. Oh, a good line. Beautiful shot.
Oh, she'll have a chance for a birdie there. It's still long range, difficult green to putt on, but nice way to get out of jail there on the 11th hole. And Morgan will take a look at the swing here from that How Pan lie.
Look at how far back in her stance she's playing this ball. Not worried about getting it up over the trees, just really focusing on making solid contact. And again, a really fortunate break to have a pretty clear shot there and get it on the green.
As we go to 14 and find Gabby Lopez on the tee, fresh off that birdie at 13.
142 yards today. It plays 2 yards downhill. And Gabby's got 8-iron. It appears to be a very perfect number.
A little bit of a tug, maybe?
Yeah, it's heading left.
It'll be just fine. But definitely, like I said earlier, you know that you can take advantage when it is not starting on your line. It can be frustrating.
Let's jump back to 12 and find Nasa Hataoka with her third.
I was going to say, watch how she very carefully watched what that ball was doing as it went past the hole.
Megan Kang away at 14.
A little bit left, a little bit short of this whole location. I don't think she's thrilled with that.
Let a couple of opportunities pass in the last 2 holes as well. We'll drop back to 11.
And this is Lucy Lee with her second.
The only player in this threesome to find the short grass. Her ball striking has been quite good this week. She's hit a high percentage of fairways. She tied Lexi with 79% greens in regulation coming into today. If you can hang with Lexi and GIR, you're doing well.
Well, on the Epsom Tour case, she's been hitting 77% of her greens in regulation. That would tie her with Brooke Henderson on the LPGA Tour. So that's the kind of ball striking that we're talking about with Lucy Lee and how she's playing this year. Lucy Lee on the 11th hole will have a chance to tie Megan Kang in the final round of the Dana Open.
We're back at the par 3 14th hole, and Gabby Lopez has a look at a long birdie opportunity to tie the lead.
A long but pretty straightforward. It's going to be moving a little bit from her right to left. Not bad.
Well, let's go back to 12 when Nasa Hataoka is trying to get up and down for par. Morgan, we saw her keep a close eye on this one as it ran past the hole.
Yeah, I think that's really smart too. It's a lot of people hit a poor shot or hit it past the hole and they walk away and they don't. But professionals will always try to get a little bit more information on their next putt.
Back to 14 and Kang, our leader for birdie.
Yeah, looking to try to get some pace on her putt. It's been a little tentative the last couple holes. Correct pace. Just a little misread.
What's your sense, Paige, of her attitude leading this tournament?
She's loose. She was joking with her caddy in the last hole, kind of ran into where he put the bag down. And, yeah, she seems to have a pretty comfortable attitude today.
It's amazing, as Karen mentioned earlier, that she hasn't got her first win yet. A couple of close calls in her 7 years on tour. The closest was a tie for third at the LPGA Blue Bay 5 years ago in 2017. As we go to 11.
And Lexi Thompson with a birdie attempt to get to 14 under par.
That was just a stellar 7-iron. Only a player that has that kind of compression could get a 7-iron up and over that tree and get herself onto the putting surface. And pretty good opportunity for birdie. She's below the hole. It is going to peel to her right as this green tilts back to front and left to right.
It's amazing. We've seen a number of players stay high on this putt, just not breaking quite as much as you're seeing. I think Morgan, maybe the dampness in the greens just stopping the ball from turning quite as much as they're used to seeing on this hole.
Yeah, that was a good looking stroke from Lexi. Good acceleration through the putt. Definitely Gave it the right pace here to Will. That was dead straight. So just a little bit of confusion.
Now, okay, Lucy will have a putt for her birdie.
Karen, it doesn't surprise me that she's putting well on these greens. I mean, she generally is a good putter, but she grew up in Northern California. She's used to bent Poe greens. The grasses here, even in the rough, are very similar to Northern California, so she probably feels really at home on this golf course.
Well, and this to tie the lead. It's another one that's high.
Yeah, that's way too firm.
Your eyes just tell you everything is pulling to the right, and you want to keep it on that high side, and you guys are right. It's just not breaking as much as the last few days.
She'll have a little bit work left for her par.
Well, we all know Lucy Lee from the US Women's Open in 2014, but a little bit earlier that year, she was part of the inaugural edition of the Drive, Chip and Putt National Finals, held, of course, at Augusta National Golf Club, and might be unsurprising to learn that she did win the girls' 10-11 division that year. They hit a drive that you just saw, a chip from about 40 feet, and then players got the opportunity to hit a couple of putts on Augusta's famous 18th green, one from 30 feet, one from 15 feet, and well, she played very well on that Sunday, winning the division, as I mentioned, and just a couple of months later, stole the headlines at Pinehurst. So as we've been speaking about, you know, this week, Morgan, she is a player that we have known for so many years, and she has such an opportunity ahead of her today. She could take full membership right away, should she win on the LPGA Tour today, but there's plenty of golf left between now and then.
And Caroline Masson has a chance for par here, Kay. What's been going on with her?
Yeah, she drove it left. Her iron shot came up short right. Pitch shot to this point.
Good.
Oh, and that just fell in. Pretty good par from the left trees.
Yep, you can see what it means to her. So really looking for a good result here. It's been a little quiet for her this season.
He only won one top 10 finish. And that came in Vegas.
And all these players know what's up ahead of them, those two closing par fives. You just want to stay close enough to the lead to really give yourself a good chance. Anything can happen on those last two holes.
Now, Lucy Lee for her par.
Like you said, just outside of the comfort zone. But she's very solid on these. Puts a lot of time on the practice putting green.
And she'll move on to the 12th. And we're going to go to the 13th. And this is Sarah Smelgill for her par. Slippery putt back down the hill. Little putt. Just looking at the scoreboard there, she actually hit it in the greenside bunker, so was able to get a sand save. So that will keep her at 12 under par and in a tied 9th position.
As we go to the tee at 12. You can hear some rain continuing to fall here at Highland Meadows Golf Club. A few more umbrellas up.
Well, thankfully, it's not a huge downpour. If it stays like this, it's very manageable.
So Caroline Masson will be first on this tee. Yeah, you just get a sense of how important today is for her, Kate. You know, she had the lowest round of her season with that 65 yesterday, back-to-back bogey-free days, as we mentioned, and got off to that slightly troubling start with a double and bogey in her first couple holes.
Well, this is, you know, her 18th event that she has played this year, and she's missed 8 cuts. So just getting to the weekend, playing solid, being in contention, she has not felt these vibes in quite some time.
She started working, Kay, with Tony Ziegler over the winter, and sometimes when you start working with a new coach too, it can take some time for the stuff that you're working on to really sink in and to feel comfortable doing it under pressure.
And inevitably those bad habits kind of creep back in when the pressure is on. That's a second drive to the left-hand side.
She's going to get away with that one just in the first cut.
Same target. Big tree. Yellow.
thought it was interesting, Morgan, what Lucy said in her press conference was what she's been working on, so that's paid off on the Epsom Tour, is really staying in the moment and just playing golf day to day, shot to shot. And what she's trying to treat this final round as if it's just another round. Doesn't matter what day it is, play your best. Commit to your targets.
I think that's the key for just about any golfer, and the ones who are really able to dominate are the ones that can do that better than anybody else.
It seems so simple, but yet that's one of the biggest challenges in this game.
Well, as Lexi steps up to the tee, let's take a look at some insights by KPMG in ball striking. She's 4th on tour this season, gaining over 1.5 strokes on the field per round.
This golf course takes away one of her biggest strengths, which is her long, straight driving. She averages 272 yards on the year, but I think she's become a much better strategic player, and she's used to now hitting either this 2-iron or her 4-iron or 5-iron off the tee.
We do hear all the players say this is a ball striker's golf course. Narrow fairways. And that one finding the short grass just fine.
We're going to go to the 15th, and this is Megan Kang with her second from the bunker.
148 yards. 7-iron. It just didn't sound like solid contact.
Coming out of that really wet sand page, just heavy.
She'll have some work to do to get up and down from there to maintain her lead. It's 14.
That's Ruining Yin on the tee at the par 3. She was part of that final group yesterday. Began today 3 back.
Now back on the 15th, Gabby Lopez with her second shot.
8-iron for Gabby. And where this hole's located, it's only 8 paces on, just trying to cover that front part because there's a little bit of a false. Didn't quite make it.
Yeah, this damp air, I think, making the ball fly not quite as far as it did in the heat of yesterday. Megan Kang leading the way. 6 under par round going through 14 holes in the Dana Open.
We're back at the 12th hole with Lexi Thompson's second.
163 yards to the hole. Just has to be cognizant of the trees that frame the right side of this fairway. Not a lot of room there if she wants to draw it. Better to go a little left with a cut. Well, she went left and that stayed pretty straight. It's a smart play, but she's got to start hitting it in a little closer.
Yeah, she needs to make a bit of a move if she wants to challenge for this title.
Kang with her third shot on 15.
She's got options here. She could take it low or go high. She's chosen the low. Not bad, not bad.
I think that was very nicely played.
Yeah.
Making a nice adjustment for the soft conditions. Getting that to land just on the front edge.
As we go up to 14 and take a look at Brooke Henderson for birdie.
It was a similar putt to the one we just saw Megan Kang have. Not too much break in it.
Brooks 2 under on her day. 4 back in the lead right now, coming off what was a huge week for her, of course, playing at home in Canada. She likes to putt those short ones with the flag stick in. There are those birdies on 4 and 9.
She's only missed 1 green today on the first hole. Her ball striking has been tremendous, but just not making quite enough birdies to challenge the leaders.
As we get to 12, how's Lucy's angle for this second, Kay?
It's fine. She's further down and just a little bit more left than Lexi was. 8-iron in her hand. She's hitting her irons really strongly, and I think with this club in her hand and there absolutely is no wind, She's going to go right at the flagstick, or at least try to.
Yeah, nice shot. A little bit more turn than what we've seen on some of her iron shots so far this week, but that'll be just fine.
And on 15, Gabby Lopez has this putt for birdie to tie the lead.
Yeah, was able to adjust with the glyph clean in place a little bit closer, which gave her a little better angle. Not bad at all, judging that pace.
No, and that'll be an easy par as we go to 14.
And find Roning Yin for birdie. Oh, nicely done. Her third of the day. That gets her to 14 under. Another 19-year-old making a bit of a move here at the Dana Open to 15.
And Kang to save her par.
Not much in this, but the first real challenge.
Oh, really well done.
Very nice.
Stroke looked so good.
Just a good up and down. That was not an easy up and down.
No, getting herself out of trouble nicely from the fairway bunker there too, and well done. Go to 13. This is Nasa for her birdie to get to 15 under par, and within one of the lead. Those downhill putts, always quite tricky. And this whole location on this 13th playing harder today than it has all week. To 16.
And that's Gabby Lopez away.
Yeah, heading right down the left side. This bunker, not in play for her. She's able to carry that. Should open it up. That trouble is on the right side in that tree.
Yeah, the key here is definitely to avoid missing it up the right. But the left hole location today makes it a little bit easier. Widens the fairway a bit, Paige.
It certainly does. I will say that was a huge carry by Gabby, though. That's 248 over that bunker. Created a little bit of stress for some players, but none from Gabby. And Megan's heading down the middle of the fairway. Should be in good shape.
It's a closing stretch you can take advantage of. On Friday, Megan did finish with 3 consecutive birdies, 16, 17, and 18. Huge if she could do that again today. Let's go back to 12 in our final group, where Lexi Thompson will be first to play.
She will, and I believe that Lucy Lee will be paying pretty good attention to Lexi's putt, as it's in a similar line. And Morgan, I don't know if you did this, but when a player had a similar line that I did, I would actually read their putt and see how they putted it relative to my read, and then do any adjustments if I needed to based on the results.
Yeah, I think it's important to also know whether your opponent has hit a good putt or not, because sometimes if they don't hit a very good putt, that can also confuse you based on whatever their stroke does. I just want to say, I don't know how old those youngsters were that were out there, but they might have been about the age that Lucy Lee was when she played in the Open, and Lexi for that matter.
11 and 12-year-olds.
I was thinking, Morgan, you went through this too. It's kind of like those young actors that are so successful at an early age, and then they sort of hit their mid-late teens, and maybe Hollywood doesn't want them anymore, and they kind of have to recalibrate and reinvent themselves again.
Well, this is our first look at Leona Maguire on the tee at the par 3 14th. And according to Voice Caddy, it is today 142 yards to the pin, 133 to the front, and 160 to the back of the green. It's nice to see Leona Maguire playing well in Toledo once again. Who can forget what a breakout week she had at the Solheim Cup last year? 5-0-0 in her debut for the European Solheim Cup team. Tremendous performance for her and her home country.
Yeah, she talks about that performance really being the launching pad for her career to go on and win her first event earlier this season, the Drive On Championship at North Fort Myers. And She had a little bit of a struggle after that first victory, but has really played well. 2 top 10s in her last 2 finishes. Really strong Sunday at the AIG Women's Open.
She's got a good relationship with the executive director of this tournament, Judd Silverman. She went to Duke with his son Ben. She actually played here as the world #1 amateur on a sponsor's invite before she turned professional. As Lexi just looks to clean up her par here at 12.
Masson missed her birdie putt and will remain at 13 under. As does Lexi.
12 straight pars for Lexi so far.
Morgan, when Lucy first turned pro, she kind of struggled, and I think it was just that struggle of transitioning from amateur golf and junior and amateur golf into pro golf, and then COVID hit, so she just didn't get her feet under her. This now great birdie opportunity.
Yeah, I think the year, Kay, to your point, I think the year that she's had in the Epsom Tour has really helped her gain a ton of confidence to be able to come out in these LPGA events and play some wonderful golf.
She birdied that hole on Friday and Saturday, but not today. But typically Lucy Lee has made more birdies on the back nine, where she now finds herself at the Dana Open. We're back with Megan Kang, second into the par 4 16th.
Pitching wedge from 122 yards. This is a green light hole location for her. Not bad.
Yeah, that'll leave a little bit of a quick putt and above the hole on the left side, but
yeah, the ideal location, you mentioned it, Morgan, this hole is situated on one of the higher portions of the green, so anything pin high just right of it is ideal. Now Gabby with gap wedge. She's got 118 yards. This plays downhill a couple.
Good shot.
Fabulous.
That gives Gabby a putt that would tie the lead as we go to 13.
And Lee on the tee.
Turnover.
Oh, this going well to the right.
out of bounds way over there. Oh, she's not going to be anywhere near that. That should be okay.
Yeah, to actually, if her lie's decent, give her a nice angle.
That kind of looked like that nestled down just a bit. We can see the top of the ball, but it looked like it might be in a little hole. We'll see in a bit.
It's going to be tough to get it close to that hole location just over that bunker today.
Now, Lexi with the iron again, Kay.
She likes to lay back quite a ways on this hole. Yesterday she had 130 in. But as far as she hits her clubs, I mean, 130 for her is a wedge.
It's just a fuller shot too. I mean, especially with the flag on that left over the bunker, you're able to hit a fuller shot in, you know, and get the spin just right.
220 to the bunker on the left, 250 to the second bunker on the left. You just want to take it down the center, right center.
Well, she's able to put it in a spot where, you know, not many people will be laying that far back, but this is right as well. Ooh. And the wet rough is going to give her some fits, I believe, coming out of there.
Let's go up to 14, and this Nata Hataoka short of the green at the par 3.
This runs a touch away from her, but I'd expect her to have this really close to going in.
Oh my God.
Oh, good call.
Especially being able to lift clean and place the ball, put it on a nice lie. Pretty straightforward little chip there. It's one you're definitely looking to chip in.
Up to 16, and this is a big one for Gabby Lopez. Which she holds. Gabby Lopez now tied for the lead with Megan Kang, who she is playing in the 5th to last group alongside. What a day these two are having.
You kind of feel like they're feeding off each other a little bit out there, Cara. You even saw when Megan made a long putt on 9, Gabby walked over, gave her a little fist bump. They've a friendly little competition out there today between the two of them in that group.
It's going to be interesting because they're obviously a few groups ahead of our leaders, so they have the opportunity to post a number as we go to 15.
And Ronan Yin in the bunker. We saw her put a tee shot into that same bunker yesterday. Just makes the approach difficult, but what a shot there. And right now she's at 14 under. She'll have that to get to 15 under, and then a tied for third. Now back at the 13th, Lydia Ko for a birdie. Hit a lovely little wedge into this point, and she'll take that. Hard coming back, you know, once you've had a really low round. 64 for her yesterday, coming back out and repeating. But we'll go to 18.
And watch Aileen Krautzer finish her round and her first week as a professional. I think it's been a pretty successful one, Morgan.
Yeah, I would say so. I think she's proven to herself that she belongs out here, that she can compete. Got off to a wonderful opening round to really set the tone. And, you know, heading soon to second stage of Q School. And got a big next couple months coming up. Try and get her LPGA Tour card to be out here full time.
The week began with a 66 on Thursday. Able to get that one to go on her last hole. Still fun around 70.
And her first paycheck.
Pretty nice moment. I think a pretty good week to be proud of. Good for Aileen. Let's get back to 16 Page and Megan Kang.
Yeah, I kind of had the same impression Morgan did from the fairway, that this was going to be a fast putt because this is the high side of the green. But where her ball's sitting is actually in a relatively flat portion. So I do not think it's going to be that speedy. Certainly anything beyond the hole would roll quite a bit away, but just moving from her left to right and pretty flat.
She's left a few short here on this back nine. Talked a lot to her caddy Jack, and he's like, you know, we've been feeling like we've been putting well, but just needing to stay patient. They're just not going in. Did that run out of pace, Paige?
It was a little bit of both. I think with a little more speed, it wouldn't have fallen off, but it did miss on the low side.
She had such a hot stretch, but no birdie since 11 to 13.
And Lexi with her second.
Ball sitting pretty decently, Karen. She was in between a wedge and a 9-iron. Going with the 9 to ensure she clears that bunker. As you said, this air is a lot heavier today.
That's a smart play. You don't want to come up short, plug it in this wet sand.
No, you could see she was trying to take some off of that. Working down the club just a little bit. She was aimed just on the left side of the green, looking to hold it coming out of the rough. Quick putt down the hill, but when you're out of position, she'll still have a birdie chance. Nice little view back down from behind the 13th green, down to where Lucy Lee will have her second shot.
This is not a good lie. Ball sitting down, almost what looks like an old depression. She's got to really hack it out. Yeah. From that lie, I would have played way to the right, front center of the green.
I agree. I mean, it was sitting pretty poorly, so Lucy Lee in the front bunker will have to get up and down to maintain her third place position. Well, just a moment ago on the 13th hole, this is Caroline Masson playing in the final group. This is her second shot. Hole location over that front bunker. Pulling the string. Absolutely. And she'll have that putt to move to 14 under par. We'll go to 15. This is Ronan Yin for her birdie, and to pull within one of the lead.
She really struggled with her approaches yesterday, Karen, but has dialed those back in and has made quite a few birdies out here. This is her 5th birdie of the day.
I think playing in that final group yesterday, a little bit of nerves. So we'll go to the 17th tee, and this is Gabby Lopez on the tee.
Yeah, tees up again today. And for these players, it's a blind tee shot, and they're just trying to get it in play, give themselves a look.
Yeah, this is the club that's kind of been her Achilles heel this season. She's 88th in total driving. Accuracy has been a struggle, but she has found something this week.
So to the 13th now, Lucy Lee with her third.
Not much green to work with from a good lie in this front bunker.
3 of 4 of sand sage this week. She's already got up and down once today. She'll have another chance to do so there. So now to the 17th and Megan Kang on the tee.
And you got to believe she's thinking these last 2 holes with par 5, she's got to make something happen. Just hasn't been able to get those birdies to go. This is a little wide right, though.
Well, she's tied with Gabby Lopez. Gabby Lopez absolutely pounded her tee shot down there, so a little bit of pressure on her to produce the same. Now on 13th, Lexi for her birdie.
Karen, normally I would say this would be a really tricky putt, being above the hole, downhill, sliding left to right, but with these wet conditions, this knot is treacherous, and I think it kind of helps enable you to get that ball the hole.
Got the ball started on her chosen line. Oh. Just needed a little bit more speed on that. She sits at 13 under. She's 3 shots back.
She's just absolutely had no spark today that has been able to ignite this round.
It is kind of crazy how sometimes rounds of golf will be that way.
Well, LPGA USGA Girls Golf is on a mission to change the face of golf. Join the movement and inspire the next generation of LPGA Tour players. Help make little girls' big dreams come true at girlsgolf.org. There's one of many youngsters outside the ropes watching some of the very best in the game play this week.
Well, fabulous group for them to be following. I think this is the Lucy Lee and Lexi Thompson group, so role models there across the board for all these players. But Masson will have this putt for a birdie.
Karen, this is for her 4th birdie today. She's the one making the most birdies in this group, but she had to after that horrible start when she started double bogey, and to her credit, she didn't let that get her down. She kept her head in it and has turned this round around.
It's amazing that how you can, you know, pick yourself up off of having feeling quite bad about the start to really putting yourself back in a spot where you still have a chance of winning. Nice putt. So that'll get her to 14 under par. She's going to be within 2 of the lead.
This par putt now becomes really important. And it's virtually the same putt that Caroline Masson just had for birdie. See how she handles it. Just pulls down a little bit to the left.
Yeah, that'll do nicely. Lucy Lee with a great up and down from the front bunker after tee shot finding a horrible lie in the rough. She still stays one back as she'll go to the 14th. 14th hole has been yielding a few birdies today, so an exciting one coming up when we return from the break in this final round of the Dana Open at Highland Meadows Golf Club.
And the final group have reached the tee at the par 3 14th hole. Caroline Masson will be first to play. Now 2 back of the lead, thanks to a big birdie for her at 13. We'll watch this one with our top tracer technology.
The field staff has rotated using the back tee and the forward tee today. Using that upper tee, 142 yards with the hole in the front right, kind of partially obscured by a bunker that's well short of the green.
Okay, when I was talking to Kara on the range this morning, she said she actually put new shafts in her irons about April this year, trying to get a bit more height.
Well, she got a lot of height on that one, and this has a great line. That'll do.
On the 17th, Megan Kang with her second.
Yeah, and this one's a little bit tricky. Where she would typically punch out is a fairway bunker. But she clipped a few leaves, but that is ideal. Really nice.
Sometimes it works out when you hit those leaves and things don't go too badly. This is to 16.
And Roning Yin, who is now just one off the lead, thanks to 3 birdies in her last 4 holes.
I mean, it's really tremendous. She's only made 2 cuts this year.
Right.
Cara, this is her 10th start, and what a performance she's putting in after battling through a wrist injury.
Like Lucy, just 19 years of age, as we take a look at what Lucy can do at this par 3. A couple of birdies this week so far. She had a par on the opening day, but managed to get 2s on Friday and Saturday, Kay.
And what strikes me is she's maintained her composure so well, and it reminds me of when I watched her as an 11-year-old playing in that U.S. Women's Open. She was very mature on the course for her age, and continues to be that way. This is an 8-iron, trying to draw it in.
Yeah, good shot. I agree with you, Kay. I've been so impressed to watch her handle being in this position for really the first time ever. Slept on the lead for the first time through any round at an LPGA Tour event on Friday and has held onto it so far. Obviously one back right now of this lady, Gabby Lopez and Megan Kang.
227 yards front. Gabby trying to give this a go. It's looking good, just hanging a little left.
She's going to find that greenside bunker, but this whole location is one that has been quite scoreable for previous years. We go to 14.
And find Lexi Thompson. Could she, Kay, get her first birdie of the day here at 14?
Yeah, this hole has jump-started her round before. And this starts the stretch, the finishing stretch of holes that she's played really well. Going with 1 club less, a 9-iron. She needs to make it a very accurate one. Pretty good looking line just left of the hole. Yeah, 3 very acceptable shots there. Ooh, that sucked back a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be okay. It's not the end of the world, but again, just Lexi not quite able to hit some of these irons in there really tight and give herself some great birdie opportunities. And she's got to get something going here.
As we look down to the 17th fairway, and Megan Kang will have her 3rd shot.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tremendous punch out, Karen. There was very little room for error, and did a good job to get to this point. 102 yards to this whole location, but it's tucked back in this corner. And pretty intimidating, even from the fairway with wedge in hand. But I do sense a bit of urgency kind of at this point in the round, knowing how many birdie holes are remaining for her versus the rest of the field.
Got to fling it all the way back to this flag, Paige. Just like that. And she'll have that for a birdie.
After putting herself behind the 8 ball off the tee box there, Karen, that was a really good recovery. She's going to have an excellent opportunity to get one more, and she is running out of holes.
Well, and you know it too, right, Morgan? When you get on this hole and you're like, okay, I have to take advantage, because she knows the other players are going to have this chance as well.
So 3 birdie putts here at 14. Kay, who's got the best look, do you think?
I think Lucy Lee, because she's in the tightest. I always go with closest to the hole.
That would make sense, and it would put her in a share of the lead, so very much needed. And Caroline Masson's hung in there since that difficult start. She's 2 back. Lexi, as we mentioned, really needs to get something going. There she is, tied 7th, so 3 off of the lead right now.
Morgan, Lexi just, I mean, she's put herself in contention this year multiple times. 6 top 10 finishes, 3 second place finishes, but just can't quite get over that finish line.
Yeah, you know, she has. She's, especially her ball striking is what really stands out as just absolutely top in the game of golf in its entirety. And she's given herself some really good opportunities, but just she works so hard, especially on her putting. And just sometimes we see coming down the stretch, just reverts to a few old habits here and there. But, you know, her putting stats have improved so dramatically this season. that you feel like it's only a matter of time.
And I'd have to say, for the most part, she's putted pretty well today. She just hasn't hit it in close enough, which is what we're usually expecting to see out of her with wedges, 9, 8 irons in her hand.
Again, she's been putting well this week, Kate. She's needed less than 30 putts per round over the last 3 days. She seems to keep a pretty good attitude about these close calls. I mean, goodness, as she's had so many of them during her career. She kind of admits it's not worked out the way she's wanted it to in a few events, but that's just golf. And she says, quote, "I think you never lose. You're always learning." That's what I've taken from those experiences. There is always something to build on and learn from those days. Golf is a crazy game. And maybe she can take some solace in the fact that Kathy Whitworth, the all-time leader in wins with 88 wins, had 95 second-place finishes. Just think about that for a while. This one should peel a little right. Looks like she hit that with some good effort.
Yeah, that looked like it might catch that right edge there for a second, but just broke away at the very end.
We're going to go to 17th and Gabby Lopez from the bunker.
Yeah, and this just slopes away once it hits the green.
Fabulous shot there for Gabby, and I think that's close enough to be able to give her the birdie. And when she taps that in, that'll put her at 17 under par.
She was able to generate a ton of spin on that shot, as Paige mentioned. Everything's sloping away, but out of that wet sand, sometimes it's not that easy to open the face and get the ball to stop that quickly.
No, and it's such an advantage, I think, Paige, for her with her length, with this hole, being able to get it into that greenside bunker, and then she knows she's got 18 coming up too.
Without question, I knew when she was walking up, she's like, this has to be one that the player's thinking about making.
So she will take the lead for now at 17 under par, and we'll go back to 14.
Now one further away from the lead after what Lopez just did at 17.
Looking for back-to-back birdies. No, didn't hit the sweet spot. Kind of whiffed that one.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a wrist breakdown there. Deceleration through the stroke.
Up to 16 in the meantime. Let's find Roning Yin for birdie. This would get her one back. Oh, that was a good try. Opened up her week with a 65. Coming off a wrist injury. She didn't play much over the summer. Okay, so here we have it, Kay. Lucy Lee, you said it was the best look. Let's see if she can convert.
Yeah, she had 5 birdies on this backside yesterday, looking for her first today, and just her second birdie today.
Okay, you mentioned she likes to watch the leaderboards. There's one right there by the 14th green. She's got to know where she stands.
She does. And she's trying. Boy, Morgan, it's so hard when you're trying to make putts and they're just not happening.
The harder you try, the less it happens. At least that seems to be my experience.
I mean, it's hard to say this now, but I think no matter what happens across the next few holes, this has got to be a week that Lucy Lee will be pleased with. She has performed so well here in Toledo.
As we go to the 17th, and this is Megan Kang for a birdie and to tie the lead.
Yeah, and it should be simple, right, Karen? Whole green slopes from back to front. However, that slope off the bunker will be influencing this putt, and it may straighten out and potentially move the other direction. So I see it right edge.
Oh my goodness. Good roll. She hit her line, and Paige, you called it. It was going to be tough with that line off the bunker. She'll remain one back of the leader, Gabby Lopez. They're going to go to the final hole, to the 18th. See, and try and make something happen down there to try and post a score for everybody else to chase. Lucy Lee, Roning Yin, Nasa Hataoka, Caroline Masson, Lexi Thompson, all in the hunt here at the Dana Open.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit. Win Grips, the best grips in golf. CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. On the tee at 18 with our leader, Gabby Lopez.
Yeah, and there's no trouble here except there's some bunkers on the left, but straight through the fairway is totally fine, and this is looking really good.
She didn't look very happy with that one. I'm not quite sure why, but.
And we go to Lucy Lee on the 15th tee.
Karen, a tiny bit of air movement. Starting to feel hurting a little bit. She's taking us down the right-hand side. That was rather a brave approach, and drawing it back in.
Well, that's good. I'm glad it got a little bit of draw on it, Kay, because you hang it too far out to the right and you are in trouble with some trees and some rough. But better than the bunkers on the left. Lexi Thompson now pulling the iron again.
I know. You have a little bit longer in today.
I know, but it's to a front pin, too.
Yeah, still, I like that.
Keep
it
going.
going. Huh?
Might be a little discussion with her caddy as to whether to go with the 3-wood or stick with this 2-iron. He likes this club.
I mean, she could take advantage of her length. If there was a hole, it would be this one. It's not that tight out there in between those bunkers, or the bunker on the right side of the fairway.
Maybe because she uses her driver so infrequently, she feels like she gets out of the groove with it a little.
It's one of the hardest things to do, knowing as a long player that you have all this weaponry in your bag, and you can hit it out there 280, 275, 280 off the tee, and yet you can't bring it into play because of the way the hole's shaped or the trouble.
So to 18 with Megan Kang, who is now one back of her playing partner.
Yeah, and likely feeling like she's going to have to make something happen. Again, this fairway is pretty wide open. Anything to the right is in good shape.
Beautiful.
That'll work.
Yeah, this 18th not playing as firm off the fairway, so we're not seeing as many balls released through to that back bunker, but it's also going to make this second shot in the green not quite as reachable as it's been the first few days.
So back down on the 17th, Ronan Yin with a second shot. That looked like she got a lot of golf ball strike-wise. But hanging it out to the right, found a thick piece of grass. She'll have a chip up and across the green on this par 5 17th to try and get within one of the lead, which Gabby Lopez holds. This is the 15th fairway, and Lexi Thompson getting ready for her second shot. We're going to check out the ball flight with our top tracer technology.
Karen, because she hit that long iron off the tee, pretty hefty yardage coming in, 180. Going with the 5-iron. Oh, came way out of that. It's going to miss. Oh, and hits the cart path.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. That's not going to be that easier up and down from over there. Going to have to deal with the bunker that was just getting a good view at, and that whole location is pretty tight to that.
She might have a tree in the way too, Karen.
It could be.
Did she slip with her hands with some water? It's not raining currently, but this is an odd shot.
It is. It looks like she's aiming a bit to the left, and I think that when you're sometimes aimed a bit to the left, you kind of push it out towards the hole, and that was well right. Trying to recover it too late. That's unusual. You don't often see Lexi hit those kind of shots with long irons. She's normally so good with them.
I mean, that's 30 yards offline.
Masson with her shot.
Ball sitting down, not a good lie. Went after it pretty hard with a 6-iron. Oh, and that's going to creep into the bunker.
Well, she might have might be on a little upslope there, which would make that bunker shot a bit easier. Now Lucy Lee, position A1 in the middle of the fairway with her second.
Absolutely. She's got a 6-iron out. Really nice setup, very consistent. Quite a quick player as well. Doesn't really mess around.
No, and kind of
Pushed that one.
Yeah.
Not a good swing.
Oh, and that might be a little awkward stance-wise in that bunker. All three players have a lot of work to do on this 15th hole.
I looked a little crowded on the downswing there, Karen. Just getting a little bit ahead of it.
Now Ronan Yin from the right side of the 17th. This is a third shot across the green. Plenty of green to use, but that thick rough, just thick wet rough, just taking all the speed off of that one.
Well, let's go up to 18, and what a moment this could be. Frida Schinholt to finish, well, an eagle look at least at the par 5 18.
No eagles so far today on the 18th. I think playing just a little bit longer with the weather. Beautifully judged by Pace. Easy tap-in birdie to finish her round.
With back-to-back birdies, and she gets it to 14 under, 3 back of the lead. Obviously unlikely to challenge that, but T5th, a very good finish and performance for the young Swede. Let's go back to 16 and find Leona Maguire with a look for birdie at this par 4.
Just straight up the hill. Got to give it enough pace.
And she does. Nice roll. Up to 18, Paige, and now leader from the fairway.
She's got 3 wood. 237 to the hole, but only 217 front. That should be plenty of club.
She gets a lot of height on these 3 woods. Oh, that was right on the edge of being really, really good. She was about 2 feet away from being right on the green close to the hole. She's really put together a tremendous week, though, Paige. I mean,
certainly. She was actually laughing about that after she hit it, so I think she knew maybe she didn't catch all of it, or at least knew it could have been really good.
So opportunity now for Megan Kang.
Certainly. 231 yards to this hole, only 211 to the front. She's got 7 wood.
That's a big 7 wood in this heavy air. I think going for the play of short is a little bit better than long.
Correct myself. It's actually a 2 wood. I got the signal at 2, assumed it was 7 wood. That is not enough to carry either.
Sounded maybe just a bit heavy.
Yeah, so both of them in the bunker at 18. Let's go back to 15.
And what's Lexi facing, Kay?
She does have some tree trouble. She's going to have to play this more to the center of the green, away from the flag. Lie is actually good. It's a 25-yard shot, and I think she'd do well to get this 20-25 feet away to the right of the flag. Yep, that was the play. That's pretty much all she could do.
She'll have a long putt for her par. Lexi has had all pars so far today, and just treading water, being even par. And you can see, look at disgust on her face. I mean, has to be immensely frustrating for her. Now Lucy Lee.
This shot's not going to be as awkward as we first thought. Her feet are completely in the bunker. Laying this club face wide open. Oh, spanked the sand nicely on that one. You can hear that great sound, Karen.
No question, Kay. I mean, she's got that nice little thump through the ball, and that's what everybody's looking for, and particularly when the sand's wet and heavy. We're going to go to 17, and Sarah Schmelzel for an eagle. She's at 12 under par right now. This would get her to within 3. And well, that just shows you that it was all possible on this 17th hole. That would move her to 14 under par. And what a week for Sarah Schmelzel.
2 weeks in a row, Karen. She played well last week as well. Got a lot of confidence being under pressure on Sunday last week.
Now Masson from the bunker.
Closer to the hole. Oh, another beautiful shot. Those are pretty textbook right there, Karen.
Really good, and what a good time to come up with a great bunker shot too. She's a 50% bunker shot player this week. She's 0 for 2 today, so coming up with a good one here at just the right time. And, just going to put a little spot on that and clean that golf ball up.
Well, while they take a moment, we take a minute to remind you that Connor is back. Yes, season 3 of the Connor Moore Show is coming your way with more off-the-path laughs that only Connor can pack into each episode. You can stream the new season now only on Golf Pass. As we go out to 17.
Ronan Yin has this for a birdie after just watching Sarah Smells make one from farther away. And she'll have that putt for a par to remain at 15 under. We'll go to the 15th. This is Lexi Thompson. She's one of 2 players without a birdie today. Jennifer Song is the other player. Okay.
Not too many rounds go by that Lexi doesn't make at least 2 or 3 birdies. But she does have the par 5s coming up. If she could somehow find a way to get this ball in the bottom of the hole and make at least 2 birdies, if not 3, maybe even an eagle. She had an eagle putt on 17 yesterday.
Okay, I think this is a must-make right here.
Well, at least it had plenty of speed on it. And I think this bogey, I think a lot of this stems from being so far back with the approach into this green, because she knew there, standing on the tee, that there was potentially more in the tank that she could get out of that tee shot, and didn't do it.
Okay, up to 18, Paige, and how do these 2 look in the bunker?
Well, Gabby's furthest away, and she's in the flattest portion of the bunker. If anything, it might get a little bit of an upslope, which is going to be helpful considering this is short-sided. I do not think it is that difficult of a shot. Yes, she's got to get it up pretty quickly to stop it. But given what we saw on the last hole out of the bunker, I think it's in her wheelhouse.
I was going to ask, which do you think, the last hole or this hole, would be more difficult?
Great question. I actually think last hole might have been, just given the downslope. If she can get this high enough, she's got enough room that she can control it between where the fringe is and that hole location.
The biggest difference is she's just a little bit further below the putting surface, not able to see as much as she could on the last hole, but she did show us a lot. Just got to make sure she lands it over that fringe.
It's such a big moment. 1-stroke lead, opportunity to post a number.
Really nice neutral shaft angle here. She's going to just throw that club head really wide open.
And she just didn't quite carry it onto the green there, Paige. There's a little bit of an upslope. Needed about 2 feet more to get it close to that hole.
So we're going to go back to the 15th. This is Lucy Lee for her par to remain at 15 under par. She's still 2 shots back. 16th coming up, which is a hole that players can jump on, plus 17 and 18 to try and make up that ground.
Paige, what might Megan have learned from Gabby's play just a moment ago?
Well, I don't know if she would have learned a lot, but her shot is off a little bit more of an upslope, so she's not going to have to work as hard to get the kind of height that she needs. I think Gabby probably felt like she had to work really hard to get it high enough and land it soft enough, but she had a little bit more room than maybe she expected. Megan's not going to have that same kind of challenge. This is a good opportunity for her.
Nearly hold it. So that would be a putt to tie the lead, but of course Gabby Lopez does have a birdie putt of her own, and Gabby did finish with 3 straight birdies yesterday. She's looking to do the same again today.
Yeah, just in the moment though, Cara. What a beautiful bunker shot. I mean, we feel like, you know, we talked about it earlier, Megan has had some opportunities to win and just hasn't quite been able to get it done, and we feel like it's only a matter of time before she finally breaks through into the winner's circle for the first time. She's got all the game, has putted beautifully this week, especially today on that front 9. Seemed to get a little bit tight once she realized, I don't know if she was a leaderboard watcher, but it kind of sensed to me like she knew that she was in the lead, or at least very close to it, and got a little bit tight on this back nine. But what a shot there on 18.
Yeah, 6 birdies on her day, but none since the 11th hole. And I mentioned the close call that she had in 2017, that tie for third. She had a tied third finish this year as well at the Palos Verdes Championship. Never better than that. This could be her week, but it could also be Gabby Lopez's week. Paige, this is a huge putt, you would think, for her to extend that lead.
Yeah, certainly it is. And for Gabby, it is coming back down on the down slope. There is a slope that takes from the fringe towards the hole off this bunker. You know, she's played well these last couple holes, coming in, trying to finish strong. When you think back to her 2 wins, they were against some of the best players in the world. Sungkyun Park, Inbee Park, and she was able to stare him down. And she's got that kind of grit when it comes into the moment. We've seen that the last couple holes.
She's a very fiery and a feisty player, a strong competitor. I think if she holds this one, Paige, she's going to be tough to beat.
And it would be 3 birdies in a row on her final 3 holes if she were to make it.
She knows just how important that putt was, and I know that there's 2 closing par 5s, but that might be just enough, Cara, to seal the deal.
And she does. Unbelievable. 3 straight birdies to finish for the last 2 straight days through the weekend. A Sunday 63, the second lowest round of any one of the week, and Gabby Lopez could well have put herself in position to win the Dana Open.
I was texting with her coach, Horacio Morales, a little bit earlier. He was like, I can't watch the leaderboard. I'm too nervous, but she's put in a lot of work with him, especially to straighten out her driver. Spent some time earlier this week with Steve Yellen, her sports psychologist, and I think that combination of working on technique plus working on the mental aspect has really vaulted her atop this leaderboard here in Toledo.
So she posts 18 under. Megan Kang now out of it. She can hold this birdie putt, but best she can do is 17 under. It will be up to the chasers, and with that in mind, we go to 16 and Lucy Lee on the tee.
Oh, roughened trees come in on the right, 240 yards to that bunker on the left, and this is drawing towards it.
Yeah, it looks like it got eaten up by that bunker. There's a little bit of a lip there. Depends on how close she is to that lip, whether she's able to easily get it up on that green.
Oh, Carlota Saganda is the 3rd player in this group that has been so hot today, with Megan Kang and Gabby Lopez. Just finishing up for par at 18. Decent round for her today, 3 under par. 13 under for the tournament. She's currently tied 8th. Disappointment, I'm sure, for Megan Kang.
You know, I happened to look over after Gabby Lopez made it and took a look at Megan Kang, and she just kind of nodded her head. And she knew at that point that she was no longer in this tournament. I think she felt really good about this bunker shot. You know, that she can take some confidence from at least producing that shot in this moment. But certainly, I'm sure she's going to be disappointed to come up just a little bit short.
You see the camaraderie, the friendship between the 2 of them. A final round 63 by Gabby to Megan 64. It just was a wonderful performance, a wonderful Sunday of golf between the 2 of them. Ultimately, Gabby won better, but will she be sitting there at the end of the day? She's posted 18 under with a final round 63. What a performance.
Just so much confidence, rolling this one in, knowing what it means.
As Gabby Lopez seeks her 3rd win on the LPGA Tour. Could it be today in Toledo? Oh, Gabby Lopez just putting the finishing touches to her final round 63. Came from the 5th group back to post that number today. Kane, you've got to think Lucy Lee's got a birdie in now with any opportunity to catch.
Yeah, but she's too close to the front of this bunker to get this ball on the front of the green. I think she tried, Morgan, to get it somewhere down there, but it just barely got out.
Just caught it a little bit heavy, but that's the better way to play it. Don't want to leave it in the bunker. She's got to make par at the very least and hope for an eagle.
Well, on the 17th, Chiu Lin, she's 1 under par for her round today. Playing from that greenside bunker, and will it? What an eagle. She had a birdie on the 16th, so she's gone birdie, eagle. And she'll go to 14 under par, tied for 5th right now. Nicely done, Shiyu. To 16.
Where Lucy Lee now has her 3rd, still nowhere near the green, of course, after being out of position in that bunker.
And that bunker is a bad place to end up, particularly if you're close to the front lip like she was. Now she has 114 yards to the hole that's cut on the left-hand side of the screen.
I think it's much more than that, maybe 112.
Your caddy indicating this plays a little bit downhill. The air is a little heavy. So just going with a wedge, just a small wedge. See if she can get it, well, ideally within a 5-foot circle, but reasonably at least within 10 feet. Good tempo on that swing. Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, would Lucy have heard the roar for Gabby Lopez up on 18?
You definitely heard some roars, and I'm sure she's aware of what's happening because she is a leaderboard watcher.
Okay, we'll see what she can do. Up to 17.
And this is Nasa Hataoka, and some insights by KPMG. You can see most rounds in the 60s. She leads the way with Lydia Ko at 35. Winner this year in LA at the DIO Implant Open. Can she hold out as well? 2 back-to-back bunker shots hold out on that 17th. Not quite, but nice little tap in there. Good sand save. Given the gallery around the 17th a lot to be excited about.
16 now, and this Lexi's 3rd K out of position, I'm guessing, from the start.
And she hit she pole hooked her 3-wood into the same bunker that Lucy was in, similar position, very close to the lip. Her 2nd shot ended up hitting the face of the bunker as well, and it ended up here where she now has 83 yards out of a thick lie.
Yeah, she'd gotten away with a few early, like the one on 11K off the tee, but just not quite sharp enough ball striking, not what we're used to seeing from Lex.
No, and funny that we're just not seeing her be aggressive down the stretch when she was 4 back.
Well, that came out heavy out of that thick rough.
Well, they're all chasing Gabby Lopez right now. A wonderful performance, bogey-free, 8 under 63 has put her name atop the leaderboard as she waits to see what happens here at the Dana Open. From off the green at 16.
This is a 50-footer, Cara, going with the putter. Uphill, left to right movement. Really been a couple of disappointing holes in a row, 15 and 16.
Yeah, it just hasn't been a final round performance for Lexi Thompson today. And that will be a bogey. She'll be 2 over on her round. Not the performance she would have been looking for at the start of the day, but it was the performance that Gabby Lopez was looking for, as she now looks to become the first ever Mexican winner of the Dana Open. And this is what it's all about, isn't it, Morgan? Inspiring the next generation.
And Gabby's great about that, especially young players coming out of Mexico. Lorena was a huge influence on Gabby and still is. And you know, for her to have that opportunity to inspire the next generation of young Mexican golfers, she takes that very seriously.
Oh, we'll go back out to 16 in the meantime. Still plenty of golf to be played. Caroline Masson.
Caroline is the only one who hit the screen in regulation, and she's not close to the hole, but she has a birdie putt across the screen, hole high right. And you guys talked about her liking this course. It is her 6th time here. She's only missed the cut once and tied for 5th twice the last 2 times she played here. So Morgan, there's certain courses that really suit your eye. You build good memories and you can't wait to get there.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those courses for me, Kay. One that I played just about every year. Always fit my eye, fit my game.
I think it just harkens back to a lot of the old school courses a lot of us grew up playing. And it's a fun course to play. Every hole is a little different. Good looking putt. That was a nice roll from 40 feet or so.
Oh, well, she's at least going to get, you would think, her best stroke play performance on the LPGA Tour this year. Tied 12th at the Mayor LPGA Classic has been Caroline's best until now. Let's go up to 18 and watch Brooke Henderson finishing out her week. She's birdied the 18th hole all 3 days this week. Can she make it 4? No. She'll convert the par likely with the flag stick in, as we've been accustomed to seeing. Yeah, for 4th round, 69. A good improvement after opening with a 1 over par round of 72 on Thursday. Oh, 16. That was Lucy Lee to save par at the par 4 and ultimately is cost a stroke after finding the bunker off the tee.
And that just may have cost her any chance of winning this tournament.
She's going to need an eagle finish.
Not impossible, but not likely.
Worth mentioning that it is consecutive par 5s that closes out the round here at Highland Meadows Golf Club. It's quite a rare thing to see, but it is the case here this week. Alexi left for bogey.
Alexi's planning to play next week. Morgan, when you had an off day on Sunday, what did you try to do to kind of flip the switch a little bit, at least to end positively when you're going to the next week?
I was going to spend some time early in the week, maybe working on the range, film your golf swing a little bit, see if you can find footage from today. You know, some of those shots maybe on the back 9, I'd want to see those golf swings and see maybe what went wrong and how I can fix it.
And what a story Ronan Yin has been this week. Oh, as we watch her finish out here on 18, she's a rookie on the LPGA Tour this season, making just her 10th start of the year and had only made 2 cuts entering this week, with her best finish being a tie for 26. So this, without doubt, Morgan, a career best week for her. And speaking of what you can take from a day and a week like this, she'll take a huge amount of confidence.
Yeah, she put a lot of pressure on herself when she started on the LPGA Tour this season. Really hit a ton of golf balls, ended up with a wrist injury due to just overuse, and that can be even more frustrating when you know that you only have a limited amount of time left in the season to work to keep your card and your job for the next year. But this is going to go to great lengths for her.
Yeah. 4 wonderful rounds of golf. And there she sits alone in 3rd right now. It is Gabby Lopez who leads the Dana Open by 1 as we wait to see if anyone can catch her on Sunday.
On the 17th tee, Lucy Lee needing eagle finish to tie Gabby Lopez. There have been 3 eagles on the 17th and none on the 18th yet, Kay.
A little bit of wind starting to pick up, helping from the right. This peeling right.
Yeah, there's a little bit of tree trouble if you miss the fairway right. Could be a little overhanging. Might be all right to the left hole location today.
Oh, this is the current scene. Kind of nice of Megan Kang still to be hanging around, waiting to potentially congratulate her friend on winning the Dana Open. Nothing confirmed, of course. And we've still got the final group out on the golf course. So while we have a moment, let's take a look at some highlights, shall we, Morgan? What a day it was. Let's kick off our coverage with her birdie at 13.
She really had the ball rolling beautifully, made clutch putt after clutch putt.
Yeah, that was her 5th of the day, then set up a wonderful closing stretch here at 16.
It's taking dead aim, advantage of the soft conditions. Her iron play, she says she's really been comfortable with all year.
Huge play from the bunkers at 17 and 18. That at 17. Up and down for birdie at the par 5. But this, the emphatic moment of the day and the week.
And she knew that was probably the putt to win this golf tournament. And what a final round, 63. She's really had some struggles this year. She finished tied 3rd at Tournament of Champions. And, you know, she said after that, she was like, I'm ready to win more. I feel like I could put myself in this position. But she really hasn't had her best stuff after that. That's the only top 10 she's had so far this season. And just the team around her has been tremendous. Her coach, Horacio Morales, told me she works so hard and is not surprised to see her in this position. It's just about staying patient, waiting for that hard work to pay off. And boy, has it ever paid off this week.
Just shows you as well how much this closing stretch at Highland Meadows can affect this tournament. She closed out with 3 straight birdies yesterday and today. And perhaps when we saw that embrace, she just received news of Lucy Lee's bogey at 16, making it more of a certainty that she will win this tournament. So there she sits, 18 under, 1 ahead of her playing partner today, Megan Kang. Wonderful round of golf from the both of them, but Gabby just won better. Sarah Schmelzel's had a wonderful week as well, quietly up into a tie for 3rd on this leaderboard with Roning Yin, the 19-year-old who we just saw finish. There is our defending champion with 1 hole still to play, part of that big group tied for 5th, and Carlota Saganda was the 3rd girl in that group. A round of 68 for her today alongside Gabby Lopez and Megan Kang. They were all feeding off some very good golf. A surprise to see Lexi Thompson over par on a Sunday with another chance to chase that lead all the way back down now at 11 under, where you find Lydia Ko trying to back up a wonderful round of 64 yesterday. So back out to 18 and Leona's 3rd. Haven't seen many people from that bunker this week.
Because that's not the bunker you want to be in. That's a poor layup or a poor shot trying to go for the green, missing it short and right. Definitely not ideal. That 50, 60-yard bunker with a huge lip.
And well, as she walks up, we'll go back to 17.
And Caroline Masson also at 14 under par, and like Lucy Lee, Eagle would get her tied with Gabby Lopez.
And yesterday, Masson did, in fact, have 2 eagle tries at these last 2 holes. I'm not sure that she hit this drive far enough to enable her to get there in 2 easily. 246 yards to the front.
Yeah, I would think, Kay, that maybe 230 might be definitely her range with a 3-wood.
And with that hole located all the way in that back left corner, unless you can get this fully into the center of the green, it would not be an easy chip or putt from just at the front of the green.
No, that is for sure. We did see Xu Lin hole out from the front right bunker, but the chances of doing that are very slim.
Well, no matter what ends up happening here for Masson, she should really take this week and run with it and just start creating a big wave of momentum.
Definitely, Kay, because if you're bringing in some form, you can ride that wave of form, knowing that you're hitting the ball well, you're putting well. You don't have to panic practice at the course the following week. You can go out there and just learn the course and play your game.
She went after that one hard.
Just hanging out to the right.
Yeah, but I think that's the better side to miss it on. A little better angle to the hole.
Agreed. It really opens it up. If you miss that left and you're not in that greenside bunker, it's very difficult. Now, Lucy Lee Kay.
5 paces ahead. Pretty good lie in this first cut of rough. Really takes kind of a wide stance and really puts her whole body into the swing, doesn't she?
I mean, that's just amazing, Karen, when you look at the way this final group has performed today compared to the way they've played the rest of the week. It's just what Sunday pressure does.
Well, and being in that final group too, I mean, you have players here that haven't been there before and just learning to find their way, and then Masson trying to get there again.
Well, let's go up to 18 and watch our defending champion finish out. I think pretty good performance for her, Morgan. It was almost a surprise win last year. She led by 6 through 54 holes, and just torrential rain on Sunday cancelled the final day of play.
She's very comfortable around this golf course. It sets up perfectly for her game. Very similar to where she won earlier this season at Wilshire.
I got to stand still for me, please. Make sure your phones are off. Thank you.
Now, Lexi Kay.
Lexi came out of her drive and fanned it
Two
right.
shots. You got it.
Ended up on the road, took relief, now just has to negotiate 3 or 4 trees, the rough, try to hit a low punch shot, get it down back into the fairway. Got to keep this no higher than 20 feet.
Oh, hit it square in the middle of the tree trunk. It's ricocheting back out to the fairway, and she's going to be, well, that's going to be a long way back for her third. Just not been the ball striking day that we're used to seeing from Lexi today. In this final round, we'll go to 18.
And Hataoka managed to set herself up for a closing birdie here at 18.
A little bit up the hill, should fall a little bit to her right. It's kind of a tricky one to read. Everything actually slopes a little bit off the bunker as opposed to where you would typically think it should slope back towards that Ottawa River.
All in all, it's been a pretty good performance for her this year. She opened with a 61 on Thursday last year. Ultimately set the tournament's 54-hole scoring record, but she's put up a good fight in defense. Opened with a 69 this time, 66 on Friday, 67 yesterday. Looking for another 67 today. Quite managed to pay that birdie off, so it'll be a closing par and a final round 68 as we go back to 17.
And this is Lexi's third shot.
Yeah, she's got a massive distance to the hole, and she's just going to hit this as hard as she can, see how close she can get. But again,
right.
high right miss. She's all over the lot.
She grabbed at her neck there a little bit. I don't know if it's so uncharacteristic. I don't know if she's struggling with something in her body, but
there's been some right misses these last few holes for sure that have taken her out of this championship. Final round, the Dana Open. Gabby Lopez firmly in control at the top.
Well, Gabby Lopez is certainly being congratulated as if she's won her third LPGA Tour title. It is not yet official. You can see she's a 2-time winner on the tour. She last won the Tournament of Champions in 2020. She also won the Blue Bay LPGA in 2018. So maybe she's got a bit of a trend, Morgan, of winning on even years. I'm sure she'd like to win more regularly than that, but let's get back to the struggles of Lexi Thompson on 17.
She has not made it easy at all for herself. Has a shot here off the hard pan to get it onto the green. She'll have to sacrifice going more to the middle of the green rather than at the flag stick. Play out right of it. Probably 20, 22-yard shot just to get it onto that part of the green.
It's pretty tough to get perfect contact here, which you really need perfect contact to control the distance.
Yeah, you don't have to really do anything different. It's just mentally, physically, it feels different because you're hitting off a different surface than you have all day. But you can actually, hitting off a hard pan can be very easy.
You have to think her head is spinning okay after these last few holes.
Looked like she played that a little bit more towards the back of her stance, Morgan, just to make sure she got clean contact on it and got too much spin.
I thought she might be getting her 84th career top 10 finish, but if she keeps leaking oil, she's going to finish outside of the top 10.
I think that there comes a point in the round, though, when you're somebody like Lexi that's used to being in contention, used to winning, when you know you're kind of out of it. There's a natural kind of let down.
Yep. What's the point?
It's a hard thing to fight through sometimes when you're so amped up to win that there's a letdown that happens. But Masson still in it, Kay, if she can hold this shot.
Oh boy, and she, you know, this is sitting pretty. 20 yards to the hole. Hit a beautiful bunker shot a couple holes ago. Being aggressive.
Had to be.
A little too aggressive.
Okay. It's not going to be an easy putt from back there. It's going to be an awkward read. Now Lucy Lee with her third.
Yeah, this is a more difficult shot because she's deeper into the bunker, closer to the face of the bunker. So has to get this up higher, faster.
Oh, it's a clever little shot there. And I think she was expecting that to release just a bit more because of the way she hit it. But she'll have a putt for a birdie. But we'll need a little miracle coming up the 18th hole to tie Gabby Lopez.
When we talk about top 10s, Lucy might not be thinking too much about a top 10, but a top 10 last week was what got her in the field here at the Dana Open, and a top 10 this week. She's just inside that right now, would give her a spot in next week's event in Cincinnati. We have learned that she's gotten a sponsor exemption into Portland in 2 weeks' time. That would be a lot of golf, but she's a youngster.
And remember, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Today is a bonus for her. If she secured her LPGA Tour card, she will be out on this tour as a full-fledged member next year. It was just a matter of, hey, could she get a win in early? Is it possible? So I think it was a nice place to play from today. Not a lot of pressure on her.
And the pressure would come from within more than from anybody else. And you know she wants to get that first win desperately, but for it to have come this fast without having any status out here, I don't know that even she would have expected that.
No, and I think it's just it's a lesson that everybody learns, that, as you go through the stages, through amateur golf, through the Epsom Tour, now through onto the LPGA, that just the standard of golf is so intense out here on the LPGA Tour that anybody can shoot a low number at any time and come from behind in the pack and overtake you. It's one of those lessons that you learn, that you have to say, okay, I've just got to play as well as I possibly can and see where it puts me.
Well, I think to your point, Karen, it's much easier to play from a few back heading into Sunday than it is playing with the lead, especially playing with the big lead. That's where all the pressure and all the expectation is on you.
Lexi Thompson's putt on the way.
That's 2 holes in a row where she's had lengthy, very lengthy par putts. So 3 bogeys in a row.
I think we always talk about Lexi and her resiliency and how she's able to sort of rebound back from from tough losses or adversity, and I'm sure that she'll regroup, figure things out for next week. As we're looking at Caroline Masson, what is she facing here, Kay?
Yeah, I didn't get back there to look at. Well, she gets to live clean in place because she's in the that first cut, so she'll give herself a good lie.
And a good line too. You can move it far enough to get more of a straight putt as well.
Yep.
I mean, the odds are not in anybody's favor in this final group right now, Kay, but if Caroline and Lucy both miss these putts, it is mathematically impossible for them to tie Gabby Lopez. The odds would be if they were to make birdie here and then go on to hole their second on 18, which is a very tall order, but still potentially possible.
Well, and like you said, I mean, that board is so tightly bunched. Lucy is tied for 5th right now, and with Caroline Masson, and they're both trying to ensure that they can maybe break out of that pact and get into the tie for 3rd grouping. Every place is more money, more CME points.
Does make a big difference, Kay, that's for sure. And so these two, you know, you fight the urgency to try to win, to try and hit those perfect shots with I want to have as great result as I possibly can. And it's the balancing act between going for it and risking potential disaster, or, you know, just taking what you get given.
I think Caroline can take a lot away this week with regards to her putting. It's held her back for the most part this year.
Oh, there you go.
And there it is. It's been beautiful this week.
Well, it's still mathematically possible.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But I mean, you talk about CME points. You know, prior to Caroline making that putt, she's projected to move up inside the top 60. She's in 70th position on the race to the CME Globe going into this week. So, and getting into that final event, the CME Tour Championship in Naples, is a big goal for anybody out here.
Now, Lucy.
This looks like it might have a little left to right movement. Wouldn't be surprised if she hits this firmly. Nope.
Wow.
Went the other way.
Stopped moving as it got to the hole, and as you said, Kay, went the other way. That's hard.
I think she's just been a little perplexed on the greens today.
It can happen. I think sometimes when you're trying so hard for a victory and you push that little bit too much, doesn't often work. So Gabby Lopez still leading the top, but Caroline Masson with a chance to tie if she holds out from the fairway on 18.
Well, this is the scene at the 18th hole as we approach the end of our coverage here at the Dana Open. Not going anywhere just yet. We'll take you to the bottom of the hour as we watch this final group complete their final round. It has already been determined that Gabby Lopez is our champion.
Cara, all 3 players in this group basically have about the same distance, roughly 30 yards to the hole, each from different angles. Caroline Masson going first from the left-hand side, has to hit it over the bunker. Looking for her best finish on tour this year, and she's going to get it. Strong finish, too.
Yeah, she's in a tie for 3rd right now, but she could take 3rd outright if she's to hold that birdie putt. Great week for her. 6 years to the day after she captured her maiden and only LPGA victory to date. But you were talking about Lucy Lee on the previous hole. You know, I think back to what she said after her round yesterday, that she just definitely didn't expect to be here a couple of months ago. What a ride it's been. 2 wins over the summer on the Epsom Tour, starts over on the LPGA, and just really showing gratitude to even have the opportunity that she had today. She will have learnt so much from this experience.
And if she can get this on, even just on in a 2-putt, she'll be playing next week in Cincinnati if she so chooses. Lexi will go first. We're looking to land this, Morgan, at least halfway on, maybe 2/3 to the hole. Have it bounce and then sit.
I expect it to take just one decent size hop, but the greens are quite soft today. To hit this just a little bit firmer than she would have had to hit it earlier in the week.
So she'll have a look at a closing birdie, which would be her first of the day. All pars up until the 15th hole. She's been in trouble since then. Now Lucy.
Lexi's going to go up and mark that. Lucy hails from Northern California, the Bay Area. Has an older brother. One of the stories going around when she first got involved with golf was that she was at Mariners Point, which is a really nice driving range with a par 3 course, and that she was hitting balls, and her mom and her aunt wanted her to leave, and she was crying and begging them to stay. She wanted to keep practicing. And that's kind of what it takes, Morgan. It takes a love of the game and a love of just trying to keep conquering this game.
And her mom and aunt are out here watching her this week as well. I'm sure they're very proud of her performance. Beautiful technique there.
And a smile. You know, she said about her older brother, Kay, she said she was asked how she relaxes, because she really took Monday to relax after last week. She said, I hang out on FaceTime with my brother. Nice sibling relationship between the two of them. And if she does secure top 10 status this week, would you expect to see her take that up next week in the same state of Ohio? Obviously not far to travel, but it would make it 3 in a row, potentially 4 in a row with what Morgan told us about Portland.
I would expect her to play, Morgan. She's young, and I think when you're young, you need to figure out what the ideal number of tournaments it takes for you to maximize and play well.
Yeah, I would expect her to take that opportunity. I know she's talked a lot about wanting to play as many LPGA events as possible since she has secured her status for next year on the Epson Tour. But it's a little bit different when you get in very last minute like this without really a plan. I don't know how many events she had played leading up to CP, the Canadian Open, and
she played in Ireland, the ISPS Honda event. She was invited to play in that.
Yeah, this is her, I believe, 5th start this season on the LPGA, and had played well, top T12 in Thailand earlier this season.
But all these events that she plays just going to give her that much more experience next year. She won't have to learn those golf courses. She knows where to stay, you know, where the pro shop is, where the locker room is, how good the practice facility is, and all those things help make your transition easier.
And to that point, she did say she felt a bit rushed this week, Morgan. She only played in one practice round, but didn't seem to make a difference. Let's watch Lexi for birdie.
Everyone, Kay's been missing this putt just on the right side.
Lexi had a nice Sunday round in Canada of 66 that kind of propelled her into this week. Not going to have that excellent round on Sunday to take her forward to Cincinnati. Maybe just one putt. Sometimes that can do it.
Yeah, well said, Kay. That will just make the day a little bit better.
Well, guarantee she's going to sign a ton of autographs and take a lot of selfies after this round.
Her only round of the 70s this week, her only round over par this week. It just wasn't a Sunday to be for Lexi Thompson. And now Lucy Lee to finish. Yeah, for a closing birdie. Good job. What a week. What a performance to be proud of. She gets herself to 15 under par. Was her highest round of the week, but a very good performance here at Highland Meadows Golf Club. And that will secure her top 10 for next week, should she choose. All right, 3 for 3. Caroline to get to 16 under.
And I think, Morgan, anytime you can build a resume, build a memory bank of finishing strongly like she did yesterday and again today, this for a birdie finish, it just, you draw on that in the future.
Yeah, Highland Meadows Golf Club, a course that Masson tends to play exceptionally well. She finished top 5 both in 2019 and 2021, and that will be another top 5 finish for her today. Top 3, in fact.
Please stay with us. We have our closing ceremony and crowning our champion coming up momentarily, so stay with us for that.
So with that, let's take a look at our updated standings in the race to the CME Globe upon the conclusion of this Dana Open presented by Marathon. Minjee Lee still leads, of course, winning the US Women's Open, and Brooke Henderson, a major winner this year as well. Hoo-Joo Kim, great week for her. She's moved up 2 places into the top 10, and worth noting that our champion, Gabby Lopez, moves up to 23rd. And so while we have a moment, let's hear from our champion with Paige McKenzie.
Happy to be joined with Gabby Lopez. A beautiful 63 bogey-free. What kind of attitude did you bring into today, knowing you were chasing?
I mean, I didn't really bring an attitude. It was more of really creating a quiet space before hitting the golf ball, and you know, committing to that every single shot. It's so easy to get ahead of yourself, especially down the stretch. But if you keep it in the present, that's when magic happens.
Well, speaking of down the stretch, birdieing your final 3 holes. After the birdie at 16 and 17, the 18th hole, you had to make that putt from just off the green. What was going through your mind as you were standing over that putt?
I knew I had to make it because Megan was going to make hers. And, you know, what I thought of it was, I practiced exactly for this moment. I want to be here, and I'm just going to take care of this putt. If this ball rolls over this putt, it's going in. So softly and staying in the couch, which is a saying that I have with one of my coaches, we got the job done.
3rd LPGA Tour win. How does this Sunday compare to previous Sundays, and how they set you up for what you experienced today?
It's been such a completely different Sunday. I mean, honestly, it's going to sound crazy, but today it felt like more like a Friday round, and having that calmness and having that quiet space exactly was what we've been working on, and it has paid off. I mean, honestly, it just gets more simple if I do that.
When you speak about simple, we hear that a lot in golf. What does simple look like for you when you're on the golf course?
Not overthinking. You know, not making more drama than it is, because we sometimes like to overreact after, you know, a mistake or a missed shot. So sometimes just being able to accept and being able to say, like, you know what, okay, it's fine, I'm gonna get up and down from there. So yeah.
Did you feel like you had moments like that today, where maybe it wasn't as smooth sailing, where you got to that, where you needed those 3 at the end? Did you have those moments you felt like you had to overcome today?
For sure. I missed a 5 6-footer on 9, and then another 6-footer on 11, and you know, you start doubting. All of a sudden, doubts come into your mind. But you know, my caddy said to me, "Hey, we just keep doing what we're doing, because it's definitely working, and we're gonna commit that to the last hole, and we'll see what happens."
Well, congratulations. Any big celebrations for tonight?
We are having bolognese pasta at my host family house, and I'm really, really excited to, you know, celebrate with them, because it just feels like I'm, you know, part of the family now.
Well, excellent. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Back to you, Cara.
Who wouldn't want bolognese after doing this? It was a monumental finish to her final round, and Gabby Lopez, at the age of 28, secures her 3rd win on the LPGA Tour, coming from 4 back to start the day and really moving through the field. There is her victory by 1. A 63 will often get it done. Good performance. Megan Kang knocking on the door once again, and a season best for Caroline Masson as well. Lucy Lee continues to impress on the LPGA Tour. We look forward to seeing her as a full member next season, and a nice defense from Nasa Hataoka as well. Morgan, your takeaways?
Yeah, I think it was tremendous performance. I mean, Gabby only had 2 bogeys all week. You know, spent a lot of time on Wednesday with her sports psychologist, Steve Yellen. She mentioned the hard work, trying to be calm out on the golf course, and, you know, having really nothing to lose, being 5 groups behind the leaders, going out today and posting a number. Just really tremendous performance.
And a new meaning for staying in the couch. Well, yet to know what that means. Coming up next is the Corn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance. And our LPGA coverage will be back again on Thursday, still from Ohio, as we bring you the Kroger Queen City Championship from Cincinnati. First round coverage comes your way at 4 p.m. Eastern here on Golf Channel. But from all the hard-working men and women on our crew, thanks to Dana in their first year as title sponsor here at Highland Meadows, and the whole team at this wonderful golf course. Gabby Lopez is triumphant. She, our queen in Toledo.
Nice job, David.